Hello everyone, and welcome to the introduction to Mythical bot. Although we call it bot, but it's also at the same time a dashboard signaling system. Now, before we even start looking into the robot, we thought that it's good to indicate some things and make some things very clear. First of all, this is a dashboard slash robot, meaning that you can use it in many different ways. You can turn off the robot and just use the signals and open positions manually, or you can even ignore the signals and use the dashboard for position management. And the third way is to turn on the robot and let it do stuff. Personally, we on the team use all three options. Now, before we talk about the interface and other stuff, I need to clear something. This is a semi-high frequency trading system. What do I mean by that? If you are familiar with high frequency trading, then you know that big industries out there are doing millions of dollars, and they do that by opening positions and then closing it even few seconds after opening the position. We can't do that because, well, we need a low spread for that, or actually no spread for that, and very, very fast connection. And we have to drop the connection to Forex by using a third-party broker. Those industries don't use brokers. They are trading with banks directly. We can't do that. We can't have that hardware causing $1 million. We can't have that software causing some $1 million. We can't have that direct trading with banks. So forget about that kind of high frequency. What I mean by high frequent trading is that we are opening and closing positions many, many times a day, but not as big as them. Sometimes they are using million positions per day. We are not like that. In the busiest time I saw, it would be about 20 positions per market. Okay? Another thing is that when we are talking about high frequency, we are talking about speed. So we are actually scalping and sometimes micro scalping even. And the third thing is that no matter how good our algorithm became after 3 years of research, there are still some false positions, and we will talk about that in another video on how you can manage those false positions. But be aware that we are doing trades intra-bar. We are not waiting for any bar to finish so that the signal comes out and the bot opens the position. No. Immediately, when we get the signal intra-bar, when the bar is still active, we open the position. Our targets is most of the time below 3 pips. Sometimes, depending on the system, it may rise up, but most of the time, in most of the markets, it's between 2 or 3 pips. We need an operator. That's a must. Even in high frequency industry, they still have operators. Their job is totally different than ours. You know, they don't meddle with the bot and what it's doing. They are just there to make sure that the market is healthy and nothing like those crashes that we saw 2 times in the market happens again. But still, they have operator. In our case, well, we didn't have that brain power that causes $1 million to be spent. we worked our way toward a very easy system for you as a trader to use, but we still need you to guide the robot. You don't need that much of a guidance. We will talk about that, but you should be there to supervise the robot, okay? If you do it properly, there is a chance that you gain between 20 to 40% per month, and we will talk about that and in future videos, and maybe if we get the time, I don't promise this one, but if we get the time, some streaming times, or at the very least statistics of the robot on one of these statistic sites out there, and you can follow the robot and what it's doing, and you can see that a proof of what I'm talking right now. So before we start, I wanted you to know that first of all, you need to supervise this robot. Anyone out there that is selling a robot in some sites like MQL4 or MQL5.com, telling you that it's totally closed cycle, self-sustaining, without a need for an operator, is telling you a lie. There is no way for that for us, at the very least. And by us, I mean all the developers out there that are small teams, and they are doing it for themselves before than anyone else. Yes, if you want to buy a robot, go find a high-frequency industry, invest $1 million for that robot, invest $1 million for the hardware and the connections and etc. And yes, then you will have a robot that is self-sustained, closed cycle, and your only job is to sit back and watch the order book and the market and make sure that there's not a crash. This is not one of those, obviously. Okay, so you need to supervise the robot. We will talk about that. Every now and then, we will have few positions that become problematic. We will talk about them and how to manage them. And other than that, this is a dashboard / robot, so it's not a very simple interface. You know, I laugh when I see an expert advisor that works on a single market and people drop it on the market and it just opens and closes position without telling you anything. Because then you will have to drop it on many markets, and well, basically you need to supervise all of them separately in many windows, and that's harsh. In contrast with that, having a dashboard looks confusing at the first time, but less than a week, you will be a professional in using that dashboard. I promise that to you. Okay, so you know that our product is for MetaTrader 4. So if your broker is not supporting MetaTrader 4, at the very least, for current time, we are not publishing a MetaTrader 5. It's in the to-do list. When you downloaded your MetaTrader 4, if you don't know how, I will teach you today. Make it portable. What does it mean, make it portable? When you install your MetaTrader in any folder, just right-click, drag the terminal onto desktop, and create a shortcut. I had already done it. Then right-click on the shortcut and the properties. All you need to do is in Target, after the last quotation, put a space, / portable. And if you like, yes, you can change the icon here. That means that the next time you run the MetaTrader 4, or actually even MetaTrader 5 is the same, it will put your data folder inside the same folder that your terminal exists. So if I copy this whole folder, move it to a flash or I don't know, a USB drive, and then put it on a laptop, I still have everything intact. My robot, my settings, my positions, my account info, so I can take the laptop and go on a trip. Although I don't suggest running the robot on a laptop, but still you can do that. The next thing that I need to mention is that when you download the product from the market, it goes into experts market. Either way, a pro version, a demo version, and later down the road, a non-pro version will come out in a few days from recording this video. They will be there. And one more thing that you need to keep in mind that is in your data folder MQL4, there is a folder called files. In the files, you will see a Mythical folder when you run the robot. In Mythical folder, there will be a settings, and in here we will have one or two bin files depending on what robot you run. If you are running demo, it will be this. If you are running the pro, it will be this. And later, if you are running the normal version, it will be this. Don't delete these. These are the settings that you set in your interface. So if you want to share your dashboard settings with a friend, just give this file to him or her. So don't delete these. Know where it is, and that's it. Okay? Now, let's take a look at the robot. But before going for the robot, and yes, it's in market as you see, before going for the robot, I highly suggest that open a chart, no matter what chart, and set your settings on the chart like mine. Colors, background black, foreground and grid, all 65, 65, 65. Bar up lime, bar down pink, deep pink. Bull candle, dark green. Beer candle, maroon. Line graph, 64, 64, 0. Volume, 0, 64, 0. Ask line, again, all 65. And then stop level, 83, 0, 0. In the common folder, tick the chart shift and chart auto scroll. Uncheck mark anything else except the ask line and go for candlesticks. Don't tick show volumes. The volume you set here is your positions and stop levels. The volume you show here is those volume bars at the end of the below the chart. We don't need that. Okay, hit OK, and then save it as a default template. Okay, then you can close this. Now, the dashboard will work on any chart you drop it on. Personally, I use SPX 500 because I'm not trading in this market. Choose a market that you're not trading. We don't need it to be a very active market. No, we don't need that. We don't care about that. But we need it to be a market that you don't trade, whatever you want. I have all the 28 pairs of the Forex markets added to my symbols and nothing else other than that SPX 500. You don't need to do that because we have a way to open these, but hey, it's fun to have them. Another thing that I need to mention is that this robot only and only works on the Forex 28 pairs. It won't work on gold, it won't work on oil, silver, Bitcoin, SPX 500, none other markets. Only 28 pairs of Forex market. Now, we will take a look at the demo first and then pro version because the demo is easier to understand, and then we will move toward pro version. One thing I need you to understand is that I opened a demo account of $5,000 with the margin of 1 to 500. Okay? So it's decided a risky margin, but we will look at how it works. So $5,000. And all you need to do now, first of all, make sure this auto trading, by the way, your terminal most of the time is below here. And this will be on the side here, if I can put it there. And this will be on the top or bottom of here, somewhere, something like that. it doesn't matter. So maybe your market watch is on top, and that's most of the time the default way of MetaTrader looking. It doesn't change anything, okay? I prefer to have my navigator to the side here and the market watch to the side here somewhere. Again, it doesn't matter that much. You only have to do it once. So on the toolbar, you make sure that auto trading is checkmarked if you want to use this as a robot. Then you double click on the robot when your desired chart is active. In the settings, all you need to make sure is in common, you add allow live trading, again if you want to make it as a robot. DLL imports, blah, blah, we don't need them. Long and short positions should be in common. In input, you don't have that many options. All the options are set in the interface itself. What do we have here are few options. On top, there is a button in the interface that lets us open a chart. It tells what template on the chart should be used and what time frame. Then you will have update interval and a magic number. I highly suggest don't touch these. The thing you may consider to change is these guys. These are active working sessions. On normal days, meaning anything that is not Monday or Friday, we go from 00 to 21. So we start before the London time. Actually, I think it's Japanese time. And we end when the New York is closed. On Mondays, however, we start at 2 a.m. Why? Because we want to give the market 2 hours of being volatile until it gets somewhat stable. We are not manually trading. If we were manually trading the market, we may want to trade those 2 hours. Actually, I know people that love trading the market in that high volatile early markets of the starting week, but we are not one of them. The algorithm works better when the market is not chaotic and it's working as normal days. So we drop those 2 hours at the early market opening, and at the same time you may want to consider closing your robot when the market is near the weekend. When I talk about closing the robot, I mean not opening a new position. We will talk about position management later. So normally it's on 15 hour. It's GMT, by the way, and it's on Friday. Okay, all these hours are GMT. So just by hitting OK, you will see that everything is gone. It doesn't matter what time frame your chart is. This will work. Okay? Now, I know that it looks a lot in the UI, but we will walk you through this column by column, and when we finish this video, it will be very easy for you to understand what is going on here. Now, this is a demo version. A demo version only works on Euro Aussie dollar, sorry, and the heat map is only on NZD. But you see the balance info and the options window. So this this panel consists of 3 different sections. The first section is your dashboard / robot / position management. The first column in this dashboard is what we call dynamic trend prediction. It's not a neural network. The neural network comes later. This algorithm tries to predict what direction the market goes in future. And no, it's not a simple trend line. Again, trend line is going in another column. This is a very special algorithm with our customly crafted mathematic formula. And by the way, we are using lots of custom crafted formulas that are original in this dashboard to make it work fast. Only one or two columns are actually derivatives of our standard oscillators or formulas that you are familiar with. We will talk about them later. So the very first column predicts the direction. By default, the dictation is off, okay? So you don't see any orange bar around this arrow. If you click on this, however, it will become orange, and you see immediately that it dictates one of these two, buy or sell. If it's going up, then it dictates buy, meaning that the robot should think about getting buy positions only. If it's down and red, then it dictates sell, and it will turn off the buy and will turn on the sell, meaning that the robot should think about sell positions. So basically, the next two columns, the buy and sell, are not buttons to open buy and sell positions. These are dictating the bot to accept the signals in that direction. Only buy signals or only sell signals, or if you want, both of them. But if you check the dictator here, it will turn off the sell and only accepts buy. We will come to when you want to turn on the dictators, but for time being, just we are talking about the interface. So the three columns on the left are for prediction and telling the robot which direction it should think. The next one is a button that will open a chart for you. When you click it, it will open a chart on the time frame that you set in the settings with the template that you are setting. I highly recommend that go with the default template that we talked earlier, because at some point you may want to see your system like this, you know, something like that, and have many of these mini charts open. If you have any indicator, any oscillator, any of the things that you use in your system, then it will ruin the look. And trust me, this is all you need to guide the robot. Pure candlesticks, and we'll talk about guiding the robot in another video. So it will open a chart on the time frame you set with the template you set in the settings, okay? After that comes few, actually, let me do it like this. After that comes few lights. These are not buttons. Actually, they are buttons on the coding, but we are ignoring them. So these are lights that turn on and off based on 7 different factors that we used to get the very base signal. We only accept a signal when all these 7 are in one direction. So all are green or all on red. If there is any inagreement between these, there won't be a signal. Okay? The next column will be the base signal. If all these are green, then the base signal will be a green signal for a buy signal. But on top of this base signal, we are adding filters, 4 different filters. The very first one is a trend filter. This is a trend line with a custom formula for a channel prediction. And we are calculating, quote unquote, the slope of this trend line. We will talk about this slope in another video. And we only accept signals that agree with the trend and are okay with the slope. After that, we have an OBV direction. This is one of the two oscillators that we manipulated. This is an OBV, okay? So we are accepting volume here. Actually, we have volume one more place here. We will talk about it later. But this is one of those that accepts volume into the calculation. So we are using the volume as OBV, then manipulate the OBV. Here is our custom formula. We are manipulating the OBV to see what direction the OBV can go in one or two candles from here. The third column is OBV phase. Again, it's another one. It's the second one, actually, of the oscillators that we manipulated. We accept the OBV, but on top of OBV, we are doing something very specific and special. We try to understand if the OBV in total is on a rising phase or a dropping phase. It's completely different than the direction the OBV is going. The OBV can rise when it's in dropping phase, for example, like a retrace, or vice versa. The third filter is our neural network prediction. For those who are familiar with neural network, this is a very simple neural network. It's not LSTM or deep learning or none of that. We couldn't program it in MetaTrader 4 in such a way that it would be fast. This is a very simple neural network system, a machine learning system that we trained to just predict the market. You know, I had seen many products out there that says that they are using neural networks for signaling the market. After 3 years of fiddling with neural networks, I understand that neural networks are not very good for predicting the market and giving a signal. You will get tons of false signals there. But it's a very good way of predicting for filtering your signal. If you have a signal, neural network can be used as a confirmation indicator, nothing beyond that. So we use it as a filtering signal. Now, if our base signal is out here, and the signal is agreeing with the trend, the OBV direction, the OBV phase, and the neural network, that is when we get our final signal. This final signal, most of the time, is in the direction of the trend because we agreed with the trend here. Okay? Beyond this point, we have 3 more different signals that are counter-trend signals. So the final signal is a signal that goes in the direction of the signal, but these 3 are counter-trend signals. The very first one, actually we conveniently called it breakout signal. If you have a trend, and if you can have a channel here, that channel will have a center line, okay? Now, if the price goes beyond this channel, actually breaking the channel in any of these 2 directions, we predict that the price have the potential to retrace back to the center. That is when we accept the breakout signal here. This retrace to the center line is all we need to get our minimum target hit. Okay, so we will talk about take profit targets in a few minutes from now. So keep in mind, The breakout happens when the chart goes beyond the upper or lower limit of the channel, and we get a potency to retrace back to the center. That is when we get a sell or a buy signal. This is breakout. The next one is counter trend. The counter trend actually works exactly opposite of the filtered signal. For the filtered signal, we calculate the slope, and again I'm telling you quote unquote on the slope word because it's not a real slope calculation. We are counting some sort of ratio for this value between the trend and the horizontal line. Okay? So when the slope is very high, means that the market is going impulsive parabolic. We expect it to go the opposite direction very soon. That is the counter trend signal. Okay? It goes against the trend when the trend is very sharp and parabolic. The third one is candlestick patterns. We know that there are tons of candlestick patterns, and most of the time these candlestick patterns are counter trend reversal types. I think we programmed near 10 or 14, I forgot the actual number, of different candlestick patterns that are valid and very well known and being used, like dojis, and not one doji. We have two dojis top, two dojis bottom, the hammer, the hanging man, morning star, shooting star, dragonfly, and gravestone dojis, and three soldiers, three crows, and few more, engulfings, and few more actually. So all of these are programmed there to give you candlestick signals. Now remember, all three of these signals should agree with what you set here. Actually, this one too. They should agree with this one. How does that work? Well, you may have an uptrend, okay? Sorry for my kitty meowing. So you may have an uptrend here. But when you look at the chart, you see that, okay, that was a three-step move, and it's actually going down and making a double top. The chances for it to drop. So here you may decide to go short. So you turn on the sell signal here. And from now on, the system will look for filtered or counter trend signals that are short, although your trend is still upward. So it will only accept those short signals from you, So keep that in mind. All type of signals that we are having should agree with your settings here. Okay. When you have a signal that is agreeing with your setting, two things happens. First, your button here will change color. Depending on the signal, it will become green or red. Second, the buy and sell buttons will change color. If it's a buy signal, then the buy button will be green. If it's a sell signal, then the sell button will be red, sorry. These two, actually, let me change the color because, yellow. These two are manual position opening buttons that you can use. So if you click on a buy, it will open a buy position regardless of any settings you have. The only setting that it will into the counting is the take profit distance. If you hit on the sell, it will open a sell position for you. So if you turn on the robot, that we will talk about it later, you will have the position opened for you automatically. But at the same time, it will highlight the button for you, making your life easier. If you turned off the bot, of course, this signaling system can help you to manually open the position if you desire. Okay. Beyond that, the very first column is your spread in the market in points. All these values are in points. There is a setting that you can use to limit the spread that robot can use. For example, in Euro Aussie dollar, we are using up to 25, I think. No, 30. So if the market goes beyond 30 on spread, there will be a pinkish color border for you here, indicating that, hey, the spread is too wide and the bot won't take a position. If you want to do a manual position, be my guest, but pay attention that you are working in a wide spreaded market. Okay. After the spread, we have a section that confuses many people. This is our take profit targets. It's divided in three sections. The first one is 1 minute ATR. The second one works on 5 minutes, and the third one is working on 15 minutes. So we are using ATR. Each one for 1 minute, for example, we are using 14 period and 55 period. These will be the first and second columns. Then we will get an average of these two values. For example, here it's 47 and 48, and round it to get a point, and this will be the average value of these two ATR values. So if you take a look, these values are divided by colors. So you can easily tell that this is 1 minute, the darker blue is 5 minutes, and orange is 15 minutes. Then in each one, 1 minute, 5 minute, average. 1 minute, 14 period, 55 period, average. 14 period, 55 period, average. 14 period, 55 period, average. Now, if you click on one of these, for the time being until the next update on the Pro version and normal version, it won't do anything. But you can click on the top row. It will change the whole column to get your take profit being set for all the markets. As I said, in the next versions, when we finished publishing the normal version for time being, we will add the option for you to choose manually per market which value you want. But right now, you can set the whole system to use either one of these values, but it will work on all the markets. The default is average of 14 and 55 on 1 minute period. This is the smallest value that you can get. Actually, a very small micro scalping there. If you take note, on 15 period, on average, we have 16 pips or 164 points of movement. So compared to it, 45 points, it's 1/4 of this value. So it's a really small target for you. That's the default setting, by the way. Okay, so beyond this point, what we have is position information. The first column is margin for the buy positions, meaning that the total lot size on the buy positions. The next is for the short or sell positions. And this is the total lots you used on positions. The 3 beyond that is the number of the positions. So the first 3 is the size in lots. This is the count of the positions. So how many buy positions you have, how many sell positions you have, and how many in total you have. This works per market. The third section is your profit section. How many, if you are in profit for buys, or if you are losing in buys, and same for sells. And if in total in this market you are profitable or you are losing, you know. Okay. Then you have the pair. Again, this is the same button as this. Oh, here you are. It's a sell signal for you. And if I turned on the auto, we will talk about this top section later. If I turned the auto, we would already have a sell signal. Let's put a sell signal. Okay, as you see, now we have 0.01 lots in sell, and that's our total position. We have 1 sell, and that's our total position numbers. And we are losing for time being. Well, I'm warning you, get used to see this section always in red. Why is that? Our target is really small. If I hit this and I go in, for example, 5 minutes, now you see what's going on here. Our target is really, really, really small. So because we opened the position on bid here, unless the ask line goes below this, we are seeing the negative values here. The moment the ask goes below, we are profitable, but the market moves fast. So chances are that before we even noticed, this position will be closed. So we won't see this green for too long. But also, there is a chance for this market to go sideways in this zone on top. I mean, for example, in this zone. And it will go sideways for a few minutes or even an hour because it has a potency to go and rise here. And well, guess what will happen? We will see red. The chart is 5 minutes, so maybe in an hour it will retrace back and hit our position. Or maybe in a few minutes it will hit the position. We don't know, actually. Okay? But get used to see these numbers almost always on red. The main thing you need to pay attention is not the color, but the values. You don't want to lose too much, you know. Actually, anything below $10 are really nothing for one position, maybe $5. It will come back and hit. We will talk about the accuracy of these signals later when we finish this video, in another video, of course. So, as you see, here we got an orange color around our chart. It was not there. And it gone back to neutral because the signal is gone. This orange means that you have a position in this market. And as you see, the next one, position management, we don't have close buy being green because we don't have any buys. But the close sell became red. Means that, hey, you have some sell positions. Do you want to close them? The next two are not regarding the buy or sells, but profitable and loss positions. Right now, we have a position that is in losing mode. We can close it. If it was winning, then this close profitable would be green and this would be neutral. And of course, the close all means that, hey, close all the positions in this market alone. So, Wrapping it up in this section of the market, in this section of the UI, sorry, we have 3 columns to dictate the robot which direction it should think. We have 2 pairs of the buttons for opening charts. We have some lights that indicates the default values, the factors we are using for getting the base signal. Then we have a column that gives us the base signal. 4 columns of filtering. And then 4 columns of the signals. The very first one is the filtered signal. Then we have 2 columns for manual opening positions, 1 column for spread, 9 columns for setting our take profit, some columns for give us information on the position, and then lastly, position management buttons. Not that complicated when you think about it. Normally, what you are dealing with daily based, hourly based, is this section. Nothing beyond that. You just want to direct your robot. Hey, accept buy positions, accept sell positions. Only when you have positions that are really becoming problematic, that is when you want to take a look at these values here and then manage your positions here. If you don't have a very problematic chart, actually right now it's not a very problematic chart, then you can ignore that. See, it became green. It means that we are in winning mode. You can close it right now if you want to. But I will let it work. Okay, so I have a short position, a sell position that I close. It's a profitable that I can close, and I can close all. In one single position, these two are working the same. But if you have many positions opened, some of them can be losing, and some of them can be winning. But if the total is winning, you can close all. So you have a net profit on that market. But if you want to handle only the losing ones, well, close the losing. Or if you want to handle the winning ones, close the winning ones. Or close the short. If all the positions are short, again, closing short and closing all will be the same. Well, all the positions are short. But if you have a mixed positions between buy and sells, then you can close buy and sell separately or close all of them if you desire to. Okay? So, let's take a look at a less complex section on the top. Here, you have 3 different clocks. The first one is your local PC time. This is your broker time. And this is the GMT time. Okay? If you want to turn on the robot, here's the auto button for you. The next button, the lock button. If I lock the panel, even if I hit any buttons for closing, you will see that the positions are not being closed. If I want to change the, by the way, I'm clicking all the way here. If you want to change the take profit, it's not working. If I want to open and close positions, they are not working. If I want to open a chart, they are not working. If I want to set the bot, it's not working. Basically, it's locking the UI interface so that you won't accidentally click anywhere that you may not want to. I highly recommend to keep it on unless you want to guide the robot, or you are doing manual positioning, or you are doing position management. Because it's very likely that you click somewhere. For example, for my case, I have 2 kitties. They love, really love, to jump on my desktop and, punch the keyboard with their hand, or my mouse by the hand. And if they somehow manage to do something here, that would be bad. It's a very small chance to hit this lock button by them compared to this big section of the monitor. So keep that locked unless you want to work, then you can keep unlocking and work whatever you want. The next three buttons are working for the options. This one, well, obviously, oh, we have a bug. This one will turn on and off the options position. Oh, there is a bug there. I will handle that later. It's a single line of code. So we will toggle the options section on and off. We will save our options settings manually, or we can reset it to what our development team thought would be a good starting settings. For the demo version, for example, we will come back to this options section later, but for right now, you know that for the time being, on the demo version, we start with 10 position in each market. Well, we only have one market. But in Pro version, we started with 5, and in normal version, it's hard-coded to be 5. So when you hit reset, if, for example, we make 12 right now, and if you hit reset, it says option reset and saved, and you will see that it became back to 10. Okay? Or, for example, if we make the spread big, for example, 46, this one to be 20, and rise it to use 3 lots. If you hit reset and OK, you will see it back to the original setting that we had, 30 spread and 10 max positions. OK? That's it. Now the flatten button is really there for emergencies. I can't forget that 2 times in the market we have big crashes. We are not talking about the reasons here, although I know what caused it. But there is a chance for them to happen anytime. Or for example, let's say that your wife is pregnant and it's really close to her delivery and the pain is coming. At that moment, you don't want to even have a single second of thought about what the robot is doing. So you will turn off the auto and you may decide that, hey, my equity is good. You hit the flatten button. What the flatten button will do is closing every position in every market you have by just one click. And that would be it. Take a look. 3 minutes after the position, it may close right now. No, actually it's 15 minutes. Yeah, it will close. So the flatten button will close all the positions you have in all the markets you have, at least for the pairs, and make them non-existent. Okay, let's talk about these 3. Well, I won't go into detail in here, but I will mention everything. The first one is a heat map. We will come back to heat map in another video. The top row for each fiat is for 1 hour prediction. And for daily. And the below one, the triangle one, is for hourly. So the circular one is for daily, the triangular is for hourly. Sometimes they match exactly the same. Sometimes, like here, the hourly is passing the daily, means that there is a chance that today we will still have more power coming into NZD. Sometimes it's going below the daily, so the market, this fiat is losing its power. As I said, we'll come to this later. Beside that, we have global account info. Your balance, your equity, your margin, your free margin in total. The total long margin that you used in all the markets, the number, and the lots. and then if it's in profit mode or not. The short numbers and its margin, and if it's losing or winning in total in all the markets. And finally, we sum these long and shorts. So in total, we have only one position with this much fiat, and we are winning or losing at that much. So it's a cumulative of long and shorts. Below these two, we have this options section. In the demo version, it will only work on Euro Aussie dollar. For example, if I go to Euro CAD, you see that any button that I hit will do nothing. But in Euro Aussie dollar, it works. And this options section is dedicated for pro version only. In normal version, you won't have many of these sections. Actually, they will be there, but they will be black like this. For example, these two rows will be black, these will be black, this will be black, this will be black, this will be black, these will be black. So you can just only set the spread and lots, basically. Nothing beyond that. I may turn on these two, but the rest will be black. Now, going through this very fast, in the first row, you can set your lots, your equity lock that is not implemented right now. This is for the next versions. What I'm marking right now is not functional. Okay? In the pro version right now. And of course, this is not working. So only the lot size, the spread, the maximum amount of positions you have in total markets, and maximum positions per market. And of course, these buttons. They are functional. So first, you can set your lot size, your equity lock that will work later, the break-even start and break-even gap, trailing stop, start and the gap, the spread limit, total number of positions in all the markets, the number of positions you can have per market, this P is meaning per market, and then some buttons to toggle some things in here on and off. If you set this first one in S, means that you can get this the final filtered signal. S means signal. If you click it again, it means none, means that you won't accept these signals, only the counter signals. If you click it again, it becomes B, means that instead of the filtered signal, you want to have the base signal for whatever reason. Okay, hitting it again, it will back to the signal. And notice, as I'm clicking this, this highlight moves between the base, the signal, or completely turning it off. Base, signal, off. Base, signal, off. Base, signal. The next one is T, indicating your trend filter. So you can turn trend filter off. If you turn the trend filter off, it won't filter your signal. As simple as that. OBV direction can be turned on and off. By the way, if you notice when I turn it off, there is a very subtle change between the lights on the border, and well, we ignore that signal. Your OBV phase can be turned on and off, you know. And I think they are working the same. I don't know. Then we have the prediction turned on and off, and I think it's locked for the demo for some reason. This is a bug on the demo. The BO, the breakout, can be turned on and off. Counter trend and candles. Now the last row is for the base factors that we use for the signal. So we can accept the leading momentum or we can ignore it. The momentum, the impulse, the ratio, the market direction. Actually, this is another formula for heat maps. This is the, what they call it. Totally forgot that word. Market sentiment. This is the flow. This is the third volume factor that we are using, okay? And the last one is prediction. This is not a neural network. Price, not prediction, price. This is a price action factor that is not the candlesticks because we are separated the candlesticks. Some other factors on price action that we accept. Okay? So you can turn any one of these on and off and have your own combination. For example, we can say that, hey, we want the filtered signal, but for a filtered signal, we don't want to use, for example, the trend. And for example, we don't want this counter trend, and we don't want to use the sentiment and the ratio. That will work. You will have a final signal if only the rest of the filters, these 5 factors are okay, and these 3 filters are agreeing with that, totally ignoring the trend. And as I said, this prediction is not toggleable. I think it's because of the demo version, because I tweaked some factors in the demo version. I won't update the demo version. It will only turn on and off this prediction, and of course, it will remain there. Anyway, that's for demo. I'm fairly sure that it's working on the final product, and I can show you actually the final product, not the demo, no. The Pro version. Now you're ready to take a look at the Pro version, and that's it. And if I turn off wait a minute, options, oh no, it's a bug in options too. Oh, okay. I need to handle it. Okay. There will be an update here. Oh, why are you turning on? Oh, see. For a few seconds, the auto was on, and bingo. We have lots of positions. This is what I mean by high frequency. Now, these few buttons on the top, this will turn off the setting for the whole column, okay? And this will turn on the setting for the whole column. It will take a few seconds actually to show the difference. It's just the interface updating timer. And we already have one market that is above our spread limit. Good to see that too. Okay, so we can turn off the prediction. We can turn off the buy, turn off the sell, and you see that it takes time to just draw, but in back end, as the moment you hit this button, it will work, okay? And nothing else to talk about in this video about the interface. So the reason I started with demo was that you can focus on one single line. And by the way, we are looking at the base signal here. We may want to switch it onto the signal. See, just one click on the tick mark on top will flip the whole column. Okay, so for example, you don't want to take breakout or candles at all, or you want it. It will still show you the signal like these two, because maybe you want to take a manual position. But if you turn on the bot, it won't accept these to open the bot positions by itself. And did we just close all those positions? Looks like it. Yep. We already gained 72%. See how I mean on high frequency? The number of positions we opened and the history We already closed 3, and we have 3 more to go. So we had 6. Few seconds took to get 6 positions because we were accepting the base signal, of course. But in less than maybe 5 minutes, we closed 3 of them, and the remaining 3 will eventually win. So you can immediately take a look at your position. Well, it's on hourly chart, so yes, it's a very high chance for dropping. So this sell signal is safe. This buy signal, most of the time, do this if I can right now. Doing this way. Yeah, the buy signal is not a bad signal here. And this sell signal, again, is not bad because these are hourly charts. Okay, and you see that. Let's close this position. Boom. Simply as that. So we only have 2 short positions, 1 buy, 1 short, that will eventually go and win. And if I would turn on the bot, I already had another candlestick pattern, candlestick signal here for you. So keep in mind, they work intra-bar. So these candlestick signals may come and go during the candle timer. But if it opens one signal in a chart, in a market, it won't accept any other signals at the same minute in that market. So no matter how many times it turns on and off, we will open only one position. Only one position. Actually, if I turn on the bot right now, it won't take any positions. You know why? Because I told so. No buy signals, no sell signals at all. So, in the next video, we will talk about how to handle these two. Because, quite frankly, this section is the critical section on the bot. It's your job as the operator to handle these 2 columns. And, well, that's all you need to do. If you do it properly, actually, if you really do it properly, chances are that you never need to pay attention to position management because the signals are very accurate. So, for example, NZD, CHF, yeah, why not? It really looks like a bearish to me, And remember, it's hourly. You can just simply go for 4 hours and daily, and you will see that it can rise a little bit more. But chances for a retrace, at least to this level, is high. We will talk about this in the next video, exactly the next video. So, I hope this first video won't scare you. As I said, this interface looks busy, but in reality, you don't have that much to do. Most of the time, you will pay attention to this profit total column, and then manage your positions, and total position number. Beyond that, you don't have anything to do in this section, and only you will have to focus on these 2 columns. So basically, normally the sections you want to pay attention are these, this, and these 2. Nothing else. The rest are just there to give you information because we don't know, you as users, I should say it this way, how you will use this panel, You may just turn off the bot and decide that, hey, I want to do manual positioning. So that is when you want to pay attention to these columns, maybe. Or for whatever reason, I want to open a short position right now. For whatever reason. But if you are going with the bot, then these few columns are all you need to pay attention, and of course, the heat map and your account info. For the options, every now and then you will turn on the options and set the things and then get done with it. So you will turn it off and you won't see that. And yes, this is an update coming right today, I think, after recording, because this is a nasty one. The button is not working, and it's not deleting. Okay. So, as I said, we don't know how you will use this system, so we had to put everything there. Normally, I don't pay attention to these lights that much anymore. Okay? But they are there because, you may want to open a manual position and you should predict which direction you are going. Okay, trend is going strongly down. We will talk about these colors later. Trend is going strongly down, but most of the lights are green. So forget about that market. Here we have a strong down move, filter our red, and most of the colors are red. We got a base signal, but the last one is flipping, so we may wait or we may get the signal right now. These colors help you to predict when a signal can come out if you desire to use manual positioning. For example, we have an upward move. Colors are not agreeing, forget about that. Oh, we have a complete green move, but we are somewhat going down, not that powerful. Two of the filters are green. One of the OBVs are not agreeing. Okay, I may go up. Just take a look at the chart. It's a doji on the hourly. It means that maybe an upward move will win, maybe. These are for manual positions. And why did I say maybe? Because it's totally depending on your own trading system right now. For example, all colors are green. Market is strongly going down. Well, we can see that. It's in hourly. Remember, we are trading in 1 minute charts. So yeah, market is strongly going down. But we get an upward signal there. You may want to use that. So, these sections are for those who trade manual positions. We are helping them as more confirmations for their trading system. So they can use this panel side by side their trading system. And as you saw, we lost the market, Aussie dollar and NZD, was it? Yep. We already lost that. But the signal, I mean. But those who do manual trading most of the time does not work with all these 28 markets. They focus on some markets. So, for example, they use only the US markets. So this is a buy. Market's going down. Let's take a look at the hourly, 4 hours. Yeah, the market's going down. To hell with that long position. Okay? And you see that prediction here actually. This is not very accurate. We'll talk about these columns first in the next video. Have fun, everyone. Bye.